So this is a look at our tadpoles. These are tree frog tadpoles, green tree frogs. We have 4 of them total. Ooh, where is he? There he is right there. This little guy just sprouted an arm, and he's got another arm that's about ready to get sprouted tomorrow, if not tonight. So hopefully by tomorrow, though, this guy will have all of his his arms. He'll start to look more like a frog. Oh, here he goes. Here's a different view. These are one of the other ones. This guy has his hind legs out, but he doesn't have any front legs yet. We have lettuce in here, which is what that green little thing floating you see is. This guy keeps sticking in the corner making bubbles. I don't know exactly what he's doing. He's a weirdo. But it gives you a nice little shot. He's got teeny tiny little legs for being a bigger guy. And you got one way over there in that corner. See him zipping around. He's got tiny little legs too. There's that one with its both. You see his little arm over here on the side there looking to come out. And if I can get him to turn around or get a different shot of him, you can see him a little bit clearer maybe. He knew I was coming for him, so he turned around. What a stinker. So that's the one with the arm. You can see the front arm's poking down there up underneath his belly. And then his newer arm that hasn't come out yet. He's also a little bit lighter than the other ones, more of a pinkish instead of a dark green like these other guys. These other guys got that darker green color to them. But that one's more of a pinkish color. Not sure exactly why or what makes him any different, or her. Of course, it's too early to tell there. You can see his arm in there now that he turned around. There's a better picture of his other arm. Well, like I said, that's not the camera. That's actually his actual color. The camera is actually a really good camera that I have here. It's off of the S9 Plus. Best camera I've ever seen on a cell phone, which is really nice. But he's not washed out, not bright or anything of that sort. But those are our tadpoles. Judging by the forms that they have, they are about 6 weeks along, and it'll probably be about 9 to 12 weeks before they actually start to. Oh, I scared them away. Before they actually start to get all of their arms and legs, and actually start to close up their gills. But this one, like I said, is further along than everybody else. So he might actually be a little bit further along than the rest. Should be pretty cool, because then we can put him in our terrarium. And this is our terrarium over here. So this is our terrarium over here. We just completed this today. This took us about 6 hours to do from start to finish, and that also counts some time that we had to actually stop and rebuild. Logan wanted a waterfall, so we got the waterfall kit from Zoo Med, and if you can see it back in here, there's a little hole right there where the bubbles are. We drilled through a piece of cork bark and pinned it to the back wall, because in this 12 by 12 by 18 tank, it came with a flat piece of cork here. So we ended up posting that up against the back, and then everything we pinned to it. We had, how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 10 plants total that we put in here. This one, I can't wait to see what happens with it. It grows a vine, but it's a blue teardrop flower, which is really cool. We got the vivarium starter kit, or terrarium starter kit, and it got some vine moss growing back here, hiding in the wires for his thermostat. That's his little temperature sensor right here. Gives him the Fahrenheits for his Zilla setup. This right here, I have to find a way to come up to actually hide that without changing the relative humidity reading. So if any of you guys have an idea, that would be great, because this is our first, terrarium setup. He's got a Tyrannosaurus Rex head in there. As you can see from the side here, we got a fern growing out of it. He wanted to have that sitting up like it was coming out, like it was going to bite something, but it's a skeleton head. And then he got a feeding dish that is dinosaur eggs, and as you can see in there, they had a couple of cracks in them. So he wanted to put some plants in there, so we threw dirt all inside, and then planted this plant here, this nice purplish green vermilion, and then this nice little dark green, leaf plant there. This is a fern that'll grow up and around, or not a fern, I'm sorry, that's not the fern. Sorry. That was the fern back there. This is a vine plant. It's sort of like an ivy. Something to color it up. And then he has the spider plant in the back. He wanted up in the top, so what we did is we bought some cork board, or cork, bark pieces at the store. You could get them by the pound, and these were only a couple ounces, but he took 2 pieces together and he tacked them to the back, and then put dirt on the top of it so that plant will grow, and it's actually getting moisture and everything from the back wall there. This piece here is actually where his hose is for his waterfall. We just covered that in with some moss, so that's not super noticeable. But what that was is, again, a cork board that had been hollowed out. It was a circle cylinder one, and so we took and we put the we took the hose up and through, and then he had another piece of cork board that he put to the back there that I was telling you earlier, and roped it through there with an elbow. It puts in a nice little bit of water. It is nice and clear, which was surprising, because building it was really muddy. The hardest thing was trying to separate the substrate, which was the Zoo Med tropical soil that we used. We mixed that in there, and then of course we did the hydro balls underneath. The hardest thing was, and we actually had to rebuild this once already, which is why I said it had that rebuild in there, is because we used the mesh, and the mesh that came with the waterfall kit actually let the sand and rocks go through it, so it was actually clogging up the pump. So we ended up taking and having to pull out, and we didn't have any of the plants or anything in yet. We just had the the hydro balls and the substrate in, along with the tubing and everything here. We had to take those out and then take and put everything back in after it was cleaned and got the pump all out. But he wanted to take and make it so that it looked like his frogs had a natural environment. And he's a little camera shy. He didn't really want to talk about it. But we ended up putting up a whole bunch of plants that he had gotten at the greenery. And then we just posted them. If you can see that green plant right here in the back there, the little leafy plant next to the white moss, is actually the top opening of where that waterfall comes out of. So we packed that in there with some mesh. Well, it wasn't actual mesh, but it was the weed blocker that we used instead of the mesh. And then we just roped up everything around it. And then he found this awesome driftwood right here. When he found this driftwood, we put it in there, and it fit into the tank awesomely. So it was absolutely fantastic. But we got the UVB Zoom Med. So you're looking at UVB and a blue daylight bulb in there to keep the heat up and the temperature exactly where our frogs will like it. Right now it's at the comfort level. The humidity is a little low right now because I had the the door open, but I just shut it, and as you can see, it went from 60 to 61, so it'll pick up. But this is what our setup is. This is how Logan has his dresser set up right now, waiting for his tadpoles to grow and waiting for them to go into this build. So let us know what you think. Let us know what we could maybe change. He was thinking about doing a cleanup crew with isopods and silverfish. We also talked about doing leaf litter, but it doesn't look like we can actually do anything with the leaf litter. So let us know if you think that we added too much, or if we added just enough for the guys that have been in the hobby for a while. Be nice. Logan won't really enjoy those mean comments. So, like I said, be nice, be respectful, and thanks for watching.